everyone from Dunrovin. Brian.
Yay! Hi, everybody! I missed you.
We've missed this lady, but she's been having a great time being a wildlife biologist, a certified wild biologist for Idaho, first Montana.
Yep.
First Montana, and give us a little thumbnail sketch of what you've done since you were here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So my first wildlife job after leaving Dunrovin was working for Montana Fish and Game.
Right.
And I was a hunting access coordinator for the, or technician for the winter.
Yes, and didn't I see some photos of you tagging some sheep? Some
that job I got to go on a bighorn sheep capture, so that was really interesting and fun.
Yeah. And you were in the kind of local area, were you not? I mean, you were up by Potomac, and
so super secret locations, yes. But we were down by Sula doing the bighorn sheep capture, and the reason for that particular capture is they want to check and see whether or not the herd that lives around the Sula area migrates into Idaho. And the reason for that is several years ago they had a big pneumonia outbreak in the sheep there. And so they want to know, are the sheep that were once infected with pneumonia, do they cross state lines and go into other areas and affect other sheep herds? So that was the purpose of that study.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know Montana, Sula is about 60 miles south of us.
Yep.
It's at the headwaters, really, of the Bitterroot River. The other fork, the east fork, comes in right around there. And oftentimes when you drive down that highway, you see sheep right on the highway.
Yeah, it's a big herd.
Yeah.
When they had the pneumonia outbreak, there was a significant reduction in the size of that herd, and so they've been working to reestablish that herd and keep it going. We got some donkey divas over there talking.
We'll go visit them in a minute. They want a piece of your action as well, don't they? Okay, so then you went to the Phillipsburg area, did you not?
Well, that was the job in the Phillipsburg area, so that was that job. And then after Montana Fish and Game, I went to Market Lake Wildlife Management Area, and it's outside of Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
Yep. And so my main job there for the summer was habitat management, meaning that my focus was weed control. So I did a lot of herbicide application. I got licensed through the state of Idaho. I had to take a test.
Right.
And did herbicide application to improve wetland habitat for migrating birds.
Wow.
And we had a lot of beautiful birds there.
Wow.
They have a lot of trumpeter swans that winter there.
Yeah.
And so that was a really great experience. And while I was there, I got to do duck and mourning dove capture and banding. So we capture and band ducks for purposes of hunting, so they can track when a bird is harvested. A hunter will report that, where they harvested it, and then they're able to track and see where these ducks are migrating to. And then we did a mourning dove capture as well and banded those. In addition to that, though, and what many of you may already know,
I was going to ask you about it.
So there was an osprey nest located right off of the WMA, right on the border.
Right.
And I would pass it every day on my way to and from work. So I watched the osprey. I would often get out my specs and get close-ups of them. I couldn't get the great close-ups from the web camera like you do here, but I watched this osprey nest all summer, and they had 2 offspring, and they were successful, and the offspring were doing well all summer. And then one day I looked up on the nest and I noticed that one of the chicks had not moved from the same location on the nest all day. And this was probably a week or 2 after they had fledged. So they should have been moving on and off the nest throughout the day. And this one chick was on the nest in the morning in one spot, and when I drove by late at night, it was on the nest again. So I got out my specs and took closer investigation and realized that this chick was bound up in baling twine. Which is a real problem for the nests over in Idaho, and many of the osprey build their nests directly on top of telephone poles. So we called the electric department. It was quite the fiasco. We called them around
late in the evening, wasn't it?
We called them around 5:30 in the evening, and they didn't arrive until after dark, around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Right.
But we were able to remove the chick from the nest, and our shop was located just right around the corner. So because it was dark, we took the chick back to the shop, removed the baling twine, and total removal time from the nest to removing the baling twine at the shop and returning the chick to the nest, total of 25 minutes.
Oh, fabulous.
So we were able to successfully save this this osprey chick.
Doesn't that just make you feel wonderful?
Oh, it was great. It was awesome. And it had minimal injury. The only injury that it suffered was a small abrasion where the baling twine cut into its leg a little bit, but it was very minimal. So we were able to release it right away. And then I did confirm 4 days later that it was indeed reunited with the family and in the nest.
And flying
so,
with them,
Yep.
That's fabulous.
It was awesome. It was such a great experience to be able to do that. And in addition to that, I got a couple of opportunities to handle some injured raptors.
Oh, wow.
While I was down there and transport them part way to the rehab center. So,
and that whole area near Idaho Falls is really a raptors corridor.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And it is
lots of raptors
just directly on the migration path.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of bird activity.
And this is a real open sagebrush country, is it not?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the mourning doves. Do you have black-collared doves?
They do, and the Eurasian on the invasive species list.
Yeah.
So they are considered a pest in that area.
Well, you know, they've pushed the mourning doves out of Dunrovin.
Yeah.
We used to have mourning doves all the time, and they have a very hoot, you know, hoo, hoo, hoo. Calmer and quieter, very whispery.
Yep.
Yeah, and I miss them. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to have whatever bird comes by, because of all the invasive species, humans have to be at the top of the list. So,
this is true.
But I do miss the mourning doves for sure. And then you ended up at a fish hatchery. Have you not?
Yep. So after I got done at Market Lake, when you work for the state, you can only do a limited, like you can work 5.5 months or like a limited number of hours for the year. So I had to take a 30-day break, and during that 30-day break, I did spud harvest.
Oh my goodness.
So I worked the potato fields in Idaho for 30 days.
Well, that's a classic, isn't it?
Yep. I drove an old Army bomber truck.
Oh my.
So that was really fun. And the donkeys agree. And then when I got done with spud harvest, I went down to the Grace Fish Hatchery, and I've been working down there learning everything and anything I can about trout. So we have on station there hundreds of thousands of fish, and the species that we deal with are rainbow trout, lake trout, and Bonneville cutthroat trout.
And these are introduced in various streams in Idaho?
Yep. So the Bonneville cutthroat trout are native, and our focus with those is to reestablish native populations of Bonneville cutthroat.
Right.
And they have been drastically reduced due to habitat loss.
Dams, mostly.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Same here in Montana.
We focus on helping with the restoration of Bonneville cutthroat trout, and then we also raise rainbow trout. And those are typically released into ponds and streams for
for kids, particularly.
Anglers options.
Children programs.
Yeah.
Yep. They're great. Yeah.
So while I've been there, it's really interesting to me. I've learned so much about fish that I never knew.
Yeah.
We get the eggs in, and we put them in what they call heath trays for about 2 to 3 weeks, and we hatch them out. And one of my jobs is to go in and pick the dead eggs out of the egg tray every day.
Yeah,
it's very tedious, but I like it.
Yeah, it's like picking berries.
I take tweezers and I pick out one egg at a time.
Wow.
Yeah. So and we get hundreds of thousands of eggs in sometimes. So and then once they hatch out in the heath trays, they move to what they call our vat house. And in the vat house, they're very tiny. You know, not even an inch long at this point. They're developed into a fish shape. They've lost that tadpole look about them. And then they go in the vats, where then they develop into what they call fingerlings. So they stay in the vat room until they're about 2 inches long. And then once they've grown to about 2 inches or so. Then they're moved out to the outdoor raceways where they remain for the rest of the time until they're released in the different areas around Idaho.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What an exciting thing to do. You know?
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Did you know that the first woman ichthyologist, which is a person who studies fish, is Ramona Holt, who lives up here. You know Ramona, the Holt Museum?
I have heard the name before. It's out Highway 12, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the first one west of the Mississippi in the United States.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Yeah, Montana lady. At any rate, so I wanted to get your opinion of James's Iceman. I mean, we started off thinking Winter was going to be a semi-permanent resident.
Right.
But he came and went. I think he went to the south for some reason. I don't understand it. But we've had warming temperatures. But, you know, initially he was quite the guy here. And you can see we've got a hose coming from the back here with a heated tape. And you can see the sprinkler on top. James did such a good job of creating this. So I think we need a name. And,
oh my goodness.
You got to give us a name, Brianna. Oh. Yeah. I mean, this was, some of the chatters called it a drum major. Others suggested a wizard, but it needs a name. And it'll change, you know. Winter will come back. He never stays away until really April.
When looking at this sculpture, I feel that inspires wizardry to me as well. So I would have to say that this is the Great Wizard of the Donkey Divas.
The Great Wizard of the Donkey Divas.
Don't we think?
Well, speaking of, you know, who wants to see you? Let's go over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you remember Cola and Jewel?
Yes, course. I got a great greeting from both of them when I arrived.
You know, Mackenzie comes later today, and I think these girls can count the number of days between Mackenzie's visit. Have you met Mackenzie?
I have met Mackenzie. I've met him on a couple of different occasions.
Yeah, and he uses treats to train the divas, and they're all over it. I mean, as you can well imagine.
They always respond well to food, that's
They sure do, yep.
Have they been the ones chewing on the logs over here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're kind of bored, you know, right now because they don't have anybody to harass. You know, we lost Bonnie and Clyde last year.
Yes, I did know, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, they were so wonderful, weren't they? You remember them.
They were beautiful. Yes. I loved Bonnie. She was one of my favorites.
Let's go on over here. We can get a brush and a comb, and we can give them a little TLC. What do you think?
Yes. Hello, Gertie. Hello, Maud. I've missed you so. What they really prefer is treats, though.
Oh, they do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, you know, Maud likes her back end scratched. She'll stand
come here, Maudie.
Yeah, she'll stand very nicely for you to get her back end scratched, won't you?
Here, I got one right here for you.
Yeah, see, she likes to give her the back end here. Come on,
that's
Miss
the spot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She says, where are the treats? Where are the treats? This is not right.
She's sniffing her nose and everything.
Oh, yeah, she is. You know these gals. Yeah, well, good girl.
I'm glad that they didn't disappoint and they announced my arrival.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They always, when anybody comes, they got to say hello. Now,
what do you think, Maud?
Gertie has got a little bit of an idea, her own ideas here than, all right, a little bit of scratching here.
They've got good thick winter coats on right now.
Come on, come on. Yeah.
Hi, Maudie.
Yeah, yeah. There you go, old gal.
Get under the chin.
Yeah, she's not going to stand for it. And she rarely does. She doesn't like to be groomed nearly as much.
She doesn't like it as much?
As much as Miss Maud, particularly on her rump. She loves to have her rump done. I'm going to go try again with Miss Gertie here. So,
Maud, you want your rump done?
You know that Kelly moved on. And
yes.
Yeah, she just did, and we're all going to miss her, but I know that you and Kelly had some fun the summer that you were here, saying goodnight to all of our members.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Kelly was far better at it than I was, though.
Oh, you were good at it. You were very good at it. Absolutely.
Come on, Mom.
The other thing that one of my memories from you Brianne, is you were here when Annie died, and you made a fabulous bouquet, flower arrangement.
Yeah.
That we put in her stall.
That was a sad day when,
It was a sad
when
day.
Annie passed away.
Yes. And
Grandmother of everybody out here.
And you know, we planted her tree.
Yep.
A bench bird feeder.
Yeah.
And it's really, really well.
Nice.
Yes, and what's fun to watch now, you'd get a kick out of this, by the way, is every now and again, Mr. Hawk shows up over there. We've got I think it's a, what do you call, a
Cooper's or
no, a sharpshin.
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 Yep.
I think it's a sharpshin. Anyway, he'll land right by the bird feeders, and he'll see all those little songbirds, little sparrows, and the house sparrows and the little guys, all go into Annie's tree, whoosh, just into Annie's tree. And then the hawk will get on the ground and go around it one way, around the other way,
looking for
a bird that is a little unaware. That's not quite so. Yeah.
Molly says that's the spot, Mom.
That's right. She really likes this.
She does.
Yeah. So, Brianne, you're off to the coast now, right? After your job in Idaho?
Yep. So when I get done on the 13th at the fish hatchery, and then I will be moving on to the Washington coastline, Pacific Northwest area. First, I'll be making a stop to visit family. My aunt and uncle just a year ago, they bought an old historic farmhouse.
Oh, what fun.
And so they're working on restoring that. So I'm going to be put to work there for a few weeks. And then after that, I'm headed to Southern Oregon to see my mom, who is having knee surgery. So I'll be helping her out after her surgery for a little bit.
Well, good for you. Yeah, that's wonderful. It's, I had my knee done, and you need some help.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a little bit of a recovery period.
Yeah.
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 And you said she has to have both, but one at a time. Right?
Yeah, one at a time. She'll do her right knee first and then her left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I hope your plans are to come back and see us this summer. And
you never know.
You never know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you look terrific. You
Thanks.
got a beautiful
So do you.
smile. You got your hair is great. And you just look great.
It's been great.
It has been great.
Come. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. We've missed.
I've missed everybody. I have missed you and the donkeys and Jewel and Cola. So yeah, great to be able to stop back and say hello.
Thank you. Well, with that, we're going to say goodbye and thank you for this impromptu visit with Brianne. And she'll jump on now and answer any questions that you. I'll take you over to my office. You can jump on.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.